What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I will discuss this Saturday's upcoming co-main event between Joanderson Brito and Pat Sabatini. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly and to help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. This Saturday's co-main event, Pat Sabatini, Joanderson Brito. Yes, it does lack star power, but it definitely has the juice to deliver and maybe make a star out of one of these guys, because both of them are on the brink or have been on the cusp of becoming something more of a household name for themselves. They just haven't really been able to reach there with a little bit of inconsistencies. And starting off here with Pat Sabatini, yeah, he's coming off of the submission victory over Jonathan Pierce, the grappling specialist in his own right, but he's battled a little bit of inconsistencies, trading off wins and losses his last 5 fights, with the 2 out of his 3. He's gone 3-2. His 2 losses, a knockout to Diego Lopez, and also he was knocked out by Damon Jackson. 2 dangerous strikers, right? Damon has had his ups and downs, and Diego Lopez, though, always seems to pack a punch no matter where the fight takes place. So we've seen Pat struggle in those departments when he fights power punchers, more crisp strikers than what he is. But, I mean, if he's able to get the fight to the ground, he is dangerous as ever, with 12 total victories via submission throughout his career. And he's built like a brick shit house. He's in good shape. He fights very smart. Yeah, he doesn't have the best head movement, fights a little bit stiff, a little bit flat-footed out there. But if he's able to get the fight to the ground, it's going to be a long night for anybody. He's really good at just utilizing his leverage, always making his opponent defend something, right? And I mean, that his most recent fight against Jonathan Pierce, right? I mean, just was able to just find the single leg, get to the back, and then just slowly worked his way to that rear naked choke and got a standing submission from the back. Phenomenal victory, and put him right back into a place where he's just kind of always, like I was saying before, he's just been on that cusp of really fighting somebody ranked. And like his fight with Damon Jackson was the same thing. Damon went on and fought Dan Ige, where if he would have got that victory, I think he would have got that same opponent. But going against here with Joanderson Brito, who, coming off of a tough loss to William Gomez, where you have Brito, right, is just wild. Throws with absolutely everything, with every strike that he throws, right? He's always just has ill intent, danger, power. He's going for it, reckless abandon. But William was able to kind of take advantage of that, slow the fight down. He was a lot longer, lankier. He was able to utilize side kicks, leg kicks, jabs, straights. Just was always just a lot of lateral movements. He was never in the same place. So he was able to slow the fight down in those chaotic moments where Brito was open. You know, he was winding up, loading up, and that's where William was able to just kind of pepper shots and get the victory in his own right. But before that, man, I mean, Joanderson was putting everybody away. He was able to get the doctor stoppage via cuts with Jack Shore. I mean, just relentless leg kicks from the start of the fight. And by the end, just had a gash right in the middle of his shin. His shin was blue, black, red, swollen. And Brito was just relentless pressure in his face the entire time. And his fight with Weston Wilson, where, I mean, just from the beginning, he was just dangerous, right? But what I thought was really impressive, when Weston got the knee bar, and it was deep in there, Brito stayed patient, and once he was just able to just find, like, once Weston overcommitted to the knee bar, Joanderson made him pay with just heavy ground and pound and got the knockout very quickly after that. And I think that that could be a recipe for success for Brito. Let's say Pat puts himself in a, you know, if he overcommits to a submission like a leg lock or something like that where it leaves his face open, or maybe like a triangle choke where he gets slammed, you know, Pat's very good at getting the back and sticking to the back and getting the rear naked choke, and I think that would be his path to victory here against Joanderson. But the explosiveness of Brito, he's not looking to point fight with anybody. He's not an athlete. He's a fighter. He's there to beat your ass, and that's what he looks to do every single time. So he's going to make it dirty for Pat Sabatini here in this fight. But you have the classic striker versus grappler. But I'm really curious because you've had so much inconsistencies with them. And you know what? They've shared a lot of the same opponents as well. Chepe Mariscal, Diego Lopez, Jonathan Pierce. So where we see Joanderson was able to get the victory over a guy like Diego Lopez in the Contender Series, but then Diego was able to get the knockout victory over Pat Sabatini. And I know that MMA math doesn't always work, but I think there is something to that here, especially when there's been enough of cross-contamination when it comes to their opponents. They're Eskimo bros in more than one way, and no other better way to put it. But, I think if Joanderson, if he finds the chin of Pat early on, the first 5 minutes of this fight, then yeah, I think that he can find himself a knockout or a finish victory. But if if he's just able to slow the fight down, get Joanderson down on the ground, zap his gas tank, utilize his leverage, ground and pound, control, all that, it could be a long night for Joanderson Brito as well. So I'm a big fan of this co-main event. I'm excited to see it. Yeah, it does lack the star power, but hey, we're getting a really cool fight night, and I think that this has an opportunity for both of these guys to make that next step towards fighting ranked opponents. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this co-main event. Who do you guys have? Do you guys have Pat Sabatini, or do you guys have Joanderson Brito? Love to hear your guys' thoughts. But guys, that's going to do it for today. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.